Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I am at the Llano River in Texas, and we're gonna try to find some gold. You can kind of see it there in the background. We'll get a better view of it here in a second, but I hope you guys enjoy the video. So I've been driving for about 10 hours to get out here, and my original idea was to go to a place called Long's Fish and Dig, which is right up the street. But when I pulled in, it said they were permanently closed. This is just down the street. It's called Kingsland Slab. There's an RV park right there called the Kingsland Slab RV Park. And all I can see here is river and bedrock. And there's supposed to be gold here. So I'm just kind of scouting around, looking to see, what kind of gear I should bring with me. I'm gonna need water boots, bucket, shovel, classifier, snuffer bottle, gold pan. That's pretty much it. Just looking at the ground, it looks like a lot of overburden. So I'm gonna have to focus on the bedrock, and I'll probably go way out there where I think nobody else has dug yet. Try to find like maybe a crack or a boil hole or something in the bedrock, dig it out, pan it out, and prove to you guys that there actually is gold in Texas. So let's go get our gear, start digging. And it's like 67 degrees out. So the only thing I'm bringing is 2 buckets, shovel, got my snuffer bottle, and in my backpack I actually have some water. I got some Whataburger, lunch. I grabbed my digging knife in case I find any crevices that I can bust apart. That's pretty much it. You can park right over here before the bridge. I'm gonna try to get away from the road because my first guess is that if there's any, promising bedrock, it's probably all been taken. So I'm just gonna walk up this way and find something random. All right, we're just a little bit further and I can see a ton of boil holes. There is some bedrock that could be broken. So I think we're gonna pick a boil hole somewhere out there, and we'll clean it out as best we can with the gear I have. I think that's the plan. Don't drink that water, Timber. Come over here, drink this stuff. There you go. Oh, look at this. These have totally been dug out. These boil holes. There's some crevices too. This stuff looks really good actually. A yabby pump would be perfect to get all that material out, which I don't have. But if we can find one that hasn't been dug out yet, that would be ideal. I'll put the history and the reason why there's gold here. I read up on it. It's some kind of ancient thing. I'm not a geologist or nothing, but some people are gonna ask, so here's the reason right here.
So right here I'm noticing a whole bunch of footprints, which tells me that this place has been heavily traveled, and that also tells me I really don't want to dig here because everybody else likely have already dug here. Yeah, there's a lot of people that come out to swim and everything, but I think I'm going to keep going to try to find a better spot with less footprints. All right, guys, I think I'm in a pretty decent spot. There's not many footprints. This boil hole right here, it looks like the material hasn't been touched. I'm sure it has at some point, but maybe we'll get lucky and find some gold here. The trick is to try to get to the very bottom of the material, right on top of the bedrock. That's where your gold is going to be because it's the heaviest, and obviously it goes right to the bottom. So I'm going to do my best here to scrape the bedrock clean. Now the thing I noticed is that the material out of this boil hole was actually very lightweight, so I wasn't really expecting to find any gold, but we do pan it out anyway.
We want to get rid of the bigger rocks, so that's why we're going to classify. Now that's only a small amount, and I'm pretty sure there's no gold in it. So I'm going to go around and just dig out some other boil holes and get as much material as I can in here so we have a better chance to find some gold. All right, there's that original boil hole, and then right below it, this one looks a little bit darker, and right here at the lowest spot, you can see there's some black sand here, like darker material. That's likely the heavies, and there's probably a better chance for gold to be right in there. And Timber definitely smells that raccoon. Here, you just stepped in my pay dirt. That's the good stuff right there. It's actually deeper than I thought. It goes kind of straight down, and a lot of that black material was just more like a stinky layer. If you've ever gone gold prospecting, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's not black sands, it isn't heavies, it's just stinky, like decomposing material. So I dug straight down, got to the bottom as far as I could. It was real light, loose material. Not expecting to find gold in this first bucket. I think we need to go explore a little bit more. I'm gonna take one bucket full and a little sample from the bottom part of that boil hole. I'm gonna pan that out on its own. And I'm really gonna take my time here. I don't wanna go too fast because the gold that I'm expecting to find here is extremely fine flour gold. All right, I'm gonna pan this back, see if there's any gold in it. Sorry for the wind. That's nature for you. Hey, we actually do have some black sands. I was not expecting to see that. Yeah, there sure is little tiny pieces of flour gold right in this corner. It's very, very fine gold, just like I expected. So this gold is so fine that it's moving down with the black sand, like right at my fingertip there. That's a little piece of Texas gold. As I pan it back, the gold actually moves with the black sand because it's so small. And there's another piece right there. I'm gonna grab what I can see with my snuffer bottle while I can see it. Yeah, that's actually very promising because that was only a tiny amount in my bucket and we were able to find 2 or 3 pieces of flour gold.
So looking at this material closely, it looks mostly like ground up quartz and granite. So it took 5 pans out of that bucket to get this much black sand, and I only found about 2 or 3 little pieces of flour gold, which I grabbed with the snuffer bottle, and I'm not really happy with that, so I think we're gonna have to change plans here, and what we need to do is actually clean out very meticulously the bottom of one of these boil holes, because that is very likely where the gold's gonna be hiding. Now, I don't have a yabby pump or anything like that, so we're gonna have to rig something up. So I'm gonna swap out my snuffer bottle lid with my squirt bottle lid, and it's gonna create a miniature yabby pump or a little hand dredge. So we're gonna try this and see if it works. So I'm just gonna fill in the boil hole, this tiny boil hole, with some water and suck it right back up into the bottle. And this is gonna create a solution to a problem that I had where I couldn't grab that material with my fingers or even with my, my digging knife or anything. And I'm glad I figured this out because this is pretty necessary, as you'll see coming up.
Here's a real deep, small boil hole with a bunch of stuff at the bottom. I'm just gonna fill it up with water here. Make sure the lid's all the way on first so I get good suction. Go right to the bottom. Just keep agitating it, sucking it in there. Of course, it would be way easier to just bring a yabby pump, but if you're in a pinch, that'll work. There's a piece of gold right there. It's actually a pretty nice sized flake, and that was just the first swish back. There's actually another piece right below it. See the other piece of gold? I can see a couple more pieces in there. Let me put this thing back together. I'm really glad the wind's cooperating with us, but you can see there's 3 flakes there. There's even more smaller flour gold and stuff in there. I'm just gonna grab what I see with the snuffer. We ran an entire bucket and found 2 microscopic pieces of flour gold. And then you saw how much material I had at the bottom of my snuffer. It was just a tiny amount, and we came up with 3 big flakes just from that little boil hole. So I'm gonna go around and look for boil holes and clean them out with water. And that's where you're gonna find most of your gold.
So looking straight down where I was panning, there's actually a nice boil hole right here with a bunch of hard packed material in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that thing out.
Got a stick. Good boy. All right, everything naturally been concentrated. All right, let's pan this thing back. Let's see if there's one more piece of gold for Texas. Windy, Texas. And there's no gold in there. That's okay. We got it. I mean, just walking around, you're gonna find these things everywhere. Just pick one. Make sure you clean the bottom of them out. All the overburden on top you can just throw away, as long as you're cleaning off the actual bedrock itself. Like if I had my pry bar and stuff, I could bust this up. Underneath, there's dirt impacted underneath there. I bet there's gold under that as well. Here's a nice boil hole. Right there.
And unfortunately, right here's where the wind got so bad that I could not salvage any of the audio. But this boil hole actually had some visible black sand right there on top. So I just brought my pan over and scooped it in, did the best I could with my hands. You can actually bring a battery powered shop vac or like one of those Milwaukee vacuums out as well. That would actually help a lot. Although the overburden isn't great to keep, it's better than not panning it, right? But really where you're going to get your gold is right there on top of the bedrock. So make sure you clean out those boil holes and everything, and that's really where you're going to get it. So here is where I decide to empty out the snuffer bottle and spin it back and show you guys all the gold I found. And I was actually very impressed with the amount of gold that I got from such a small amount of material. Because if you add up all of the boil hole material that I used, it was probably only like not even a full pan, really. And look at all that gold right there. I did not weigh it up. I would guess it's probably under 1/10 of a gram. But I mean, now that I know the technique, I mean, anybody can go out there. Just make sure you have a yabby pump or some kind of hand dredge. Clean off that bedrock, and you can actually get some gold in Texas if you want it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video from the Llano River in Texas at the Kingsland Slab. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do that. I put out treasure hunting videos on this channel, and that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for watching my video. If you're still here, you're one of the 42% that actually watched the whole thing, so I really appreciate that. Also, a big thanks to all of my Patreon supporters and channel members on the screen. And if you like this video, you're going to like the other ones linked here on the screen as well. And thanks for watching.